Continuing our reading in Poppy and Ereth by Avi. Today is Chapter 9, What Ereth Thought He Saw, and Chapter 10, Into the Dark. Chapter 9, What Ereth Thought He Saw.
I'm safe!
Ereth shouted when he plumped down from the branch and landed on the creek bank. With a quick shake of his head, body, and tail, he flung off the mud that coated him. Only then did he look around for Poppy. He was actually going to thank her. Poppy, however, was nowhere to be seen. Puzzled, Ereth peered up at the branch that Poppy had managed to pull down. That was when he saw his friend streaking straight up into the twilight sky.
Poppy!
He gasped, watching with disbelief as the mouse soared upward.
Is that you?
Ereth stared into the sky until the mouse appeared to stop rising and then began to fall. The porcupine held his breath. The next moment, something, Ereth wasn't sure what it was or even if it was a something, appeared out of the sky, snatched Poppy away, and then vanished. Astonished, Ereth could not move. Instead, he continued to study the darkening sky where Poppy had been.
Was that truly Poppy? If it was Poppy, how did she get up there? And if she did get up there, what happened to her?
Baffled, Ereth continued to stare at the sky, not sure he could or should believe what he had seen.
Oh, did I imagine something?
Ereth asked himself.
Was I missing Poppy so much I dreamed she saved me? No.
He had seen Poppy rising into the sky only to disappear. No, that was impossible. But then where was she? Utterly mystified, the porcupine searched about the creek bank. He studied the mud. He scrutinized the sky again. Not a single sign of Poppy did he find.
I must, he decided, have imagined it all. A mouse in the sky flying, disappearing, that's just not possible. Unless I'm crazy.
Determined to convince himself that he had only imagined what had happened, Ereth galloped home, taking pains to follow the exact route he had used when coming to Glitter Creek. It was dark, and Ereth was quite worn out when he reached the foot of Poppy's snag.
Poppy! He cried. Oh, come out! It's me, Ereth!
There was no reply.
Poppy!
He shouted with a mix of agony and rage.
Answer me!
Still no answer.
Oh, Poppy!
Ereth pleaded.
Please! All I ask is that you tell me you're here, that you're safe. Then I promise I'll go away forever.
He waited, all the while watching the snag intently.
Oh, maybe she's just playing a trick on me,
he muttered, hardly knowing whether to be frightened or furious, but desperately wanting some explanation.
Oh, yes, that's it. She's playing a practical joke on me. As if it's funny to disappear like that, leaving no trace or note or words, no respect, no caring, no friendship, no love, no nothing. Well, I'll do the same. I'll ignore her, forget her, pluck her out of my memory, out of my heart. Act as if she never existed, as if we never did anything together, as if I never cared for her, ever.
Sighing deeply, Ereth remained silent for a moment, only to lift his head and wail,
Oh, Poppy, please, tell me what happened to you. But I do know what happened,
Ereth reminded himself.
Oh, she saved me, and then went up in the air and disappeared. But how could that be?
A new explanation formed in his mind. Perhaps Poppy had fallen into the creek and had sunk the way he did. In the twilight gloom, he just hadn't noticed. Ereth's heart gave a lurch.
I must try to save her.
He raced back to Glitter Creek. As he scurried along, his mind was a muddle of self-reproach.
Oh, I should have checked more. I should have searched harder. Oh, what a dunce I am. Oh, what an idiot. How cruel and unthinking. And there I was, only thinking about myself. How selfish, how vain, how stupid. Oh, how like me.
Panting and exhausted, Ereth reached the bank of the creek. Pale yellow moonlight filled the heavy, warm air and lay upon the empty creek bed like a golden carpet, softening the rough edges of the drought-parched landscape. Crickets endlessly, mindlessly rubbed their legs together. Mosquitoes droned.
Poppy!
Ereth cried into the darkness.
Are you here? Are you drowning? Please, please, please. Tell me you are drowning so I can save you.
The last words were spoken in the feeblest of voices, a voice tinged with complete despair. Bleary-eyed and quite frightened, Ereth attempted, yet another time, to make sense of what had happened. He closed his eyes. It was too extraordinary, too awful, too dreadful. Even so, there were a couple of things about which he was now quite convinced. He had seen Poppy fly into the sky, and then she had disappeared. Poppy, in order to save her friend, her best friend, him, had sacrificed herself. The painful fact made him groan, but since he was now convinced of what had happened, Ereth made himself say aloud the awful words he was thinking.
No, did saving me. Oh, while saving me, Poppy died.
As he spoke, he began to fully understand what he had witnessed.
Oh, could it have been? Might it have been possible? There's no other explanation. What I saw rising into the sky must have been what was Poppy's ghost.
Chapter 10. Into the Dark. I'm still alive, thought Poppy, even though she opened her eyes to complete blackness. Lucy had not crashed into the stone cliff, and they were still flying, but in a deeper darkness than Poppy had ever experienced. What's more, it was exceedingly cold. Hello, Lucy, she called. Where are we?
Home,
squeaked Lucy. Where's home? Asked Poppy.
A cave.
Is it big?
I guess,
said Lucy. Where are we going now?
Actually, Miss Poppy, I'm going to set you down,
said the bat.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you're heavy.
Well, that sounds wonderful, said Poppy, wanting nothing more than to feel solid earth beneath her paws. Her back was getting a little sore, too. She sensed they were descending. Then her toes touched the ground.
Are you all right?
The bat asked as she released Poppy. I think so, Poppy answered, a little breathless as she tried to stand on wobbly legs. Since she could not see anything, she felt about where she had landed. The surface was hard with a cold, slippery dampness.
Be back soon,
cried Lucy.
Don't go anywhere.
But Poppy heard the flutter of wings, followed by a whoosh of wind, then silence. Presumably the young bat was gone, though Poppy had not actually seen her go. Trembling slightly with the chill, Poppy smoothed out her whiskers, flicked her ears, shook her tail, and took a deep breath. What a strange experience, she thought, as her heart resumed its normal rhythm. First flying, then to come to a place I can't see, surrounded by I don't know what, and not knowing what's going to happen next. I'll hide, but it's hard to hide since I can't see where I am to begin with. Oh well, she said, finding comfort in talking aloud. I am alive. I helped Ereth get out of that mud. I've experienced being in the sky. That bat did not eat me. I've gotten away from that terrible heat. Nothing bad in any of that. As for Lucy, what a pleasant name for such a creature. And actually she's nice, too, for a bat. Poppy considered the question of other bats. Perhaps not all bats are so friendly. What if Lucy went to get them? No, I don't think I shall relax too much. Hello, came a squeak close to her ears. I'm back. Startled, Poppy gazed in the direction of the voice. Who's there? She asked. It's me, Miss Poppy, Lucy. Oh, said Poppy. I was wondering where you went. Are you alone?
I fetched Mom, said Lucy. I really wanted her to meet you. She's right here.
Hello, Poppy said, thinking how odd it was to greet someone she could not see. My name is Poppy. I'm a deer mouse. She added in haste, wanting to make clear that she was not a moth. I'm very pleased to meet you.
How do you do, Miss Poppy?
Returned a voice, high-pitched like Lucy's.
My name is Miranda, Lucy's mother. I hope you'll forgive her.
The bat giggled.
She told me she thought you were a moth. We bats do, of course, eat insects, mosquitoes, moths, dragonflies, and the odd beetle, that sort of thing. Perhaps an occasional nip of nectar, but no mice,
she said, giggling.
Oh, my gracious, no.
Well, that's what Lucy explained, said Poppy, wanting to be as friendly as possible. And Miranda, may I call you that? I do know the young make mistakes. I've had a few children myself.
How many?
Asked Miranda. 11.
11?
Cried the bat, laughing.
Lucy, did you hear that? 11 children, oh my! Oh, one a year is good enough for me, thank you. But just so far, just 5. But 11, the most astonishing thing I've ever heard.
She laughed again. Poppy, wondering what was so funny, only said, Do you think it might be possible for me to get out of this cave?
You'd have to fly.
Poppy recognized Lucy's voice.
I'm sure Lucy can take you back,
Miranda said.
However, I think our little Lucy's all tuckered out for today. You know, a first flight is always an exhausting adventure.
She laughed.
Imagine Lucy thinking you a moth. Anyway, tomorrow evening would be best. Now then, Miss Poppy, for sleep, you're welcome to join us.
How many of you are there? Asked Poppy.
Oh, I couldn't even count,
said Miranda.
If you join us, you'll see it's very cozy,
said Lucy.
But you'll have to hang yourself.
Hang myself? Said Poppy.
Yeah, hold yourself to the wall.
Oh, thank you, said Poppy in haste. I better stay here.
Okay then,
said Miranda.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Next moment, Poppy heard a flutter of wings. She stared into the darkness. Is anybody here?
Just me,
said Lucy.
Miss Poppy, I just wanted to say again how dumb I was for thinking you were a moth. Can I help you with anything now?
She asked. Is there something to eat? Said Poppy.
What do mice eat?
Seeds?
Oh dear,
said Lucy.
I don't think we have any, sorry. See you later, bye.
Poppy heard her flap into the air. What about some water? Poppy called out. I think I heard water trickling nearby.
Right over there,
came a distant call. Right over where? No answer came. Lucy, called Poppy. Lucy! But the young bat had apparently gone. For a few moments, Poppy peered into the darkness. Nothing to see, she whispered, though she did feel an occasional slight drift of cold air. Nothing to eat. She listened hard, too, but aside from a tiny splash of water coming from somewhere, she felt surrounded by a great hollowness. No one to talk to either, she sighed. I'm not sure if I should be frightened or not. Since there was nothing to do but await Lucy's return, Poppy curled up in a ball on the cold ground, tucked her nose into her belly, and wrapped her tail around herself. As she closed her eyes, she recalled how earlier that same day she'd wished that she were cool and that her life would change. She sighed, and though feeling increasingly drowsy, said, I certainly got my wish. That's the end of chapter 10.